Stories I must tell, he says. Emotional life of an actor. As I say, good evening to Kabir Bedi, who takes the right stand. And what a picture. Let's start with this. Uh, you,
And
you are 75 this year, Kabir Bedi, but I don't want to call you sir. I'd like to call you Kabir if you'd permit me to.
please do that. Please
Yeah.
do that.
Now tell me about this cover
This
itself.
picture,
This like hooks
this,
you.
thank you. This picture was taken by a very famous photographer called Terry O'Neill. He was the Annie Leibovitz of his age. Every celebrity wanted to be photographed by him. He photographed Elton John, British royalty. Faye Dunaway, a famous American actress, was a girlfriend of his. He was really the big celebrity photographer of the time, and he agreed to photograph me. And he took this picture. And when I went to collect the pictures, he said, "You know, Kabir, I've taken a lot of pictures, but this one has come out really special." And coming from Terry O'Neill, that was the highest praise I could hope to get. So I always kept this picture with me. And when it came time to deciding what picture goes on the cover of the book, my wife Parveen said, "It's got to be that one.
Yeah, it's got.
Nobody's ever taken a picture of you like that. That's the one." And that's what it became.
Well, this was how
A
old were you
symbol
when
of.
you took this picture?
This was in my early 30s. Early 30s.
Early 30s, and now you're 75, and what a voice and what a presence you still have. Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm jealous and envious, Kabir. But the fact is, there are 8 chapters to this book, ladies and gentlemen. You read any chapter, any point in time, it still hooks you. There's just so many stories that he has told that people don't realize. So from the time that you're about 9 months old till the time that you were just about a 21-year-old out of college, till now, your life has been so exciting.
It's
You've been
been
there
one.
you've been there at so many moments in history, which is so special. I didn't know all of this. Kabir.
I'm hoping that many people will discover many things about me that they didn't know, because my life is an incredible story, and it's the sort of story of my tumultuous roller coaster life that I've led on 3 continents.
Well,
And if this communicates, it does so at an emotional level, but also because I've chosen the form of telling it through a series of stories and turning points in my life. This gives me the freedom to go back and forth. I don't like the linear form where you start from
yeah, I
childhood and you
figured
go
that
to
out.
old age. It's just much more interesting if you can mix it up in a creative way.
Well,
And
mix it
that's
up.
what
The
I've.
first chapter itself, I was like, wow, this guy did this. 1966, the Beatles in Delhi, and you are there in a hotel, in a room with all of them.
Yeah, I was a cub reporter with All India Radio, and I was a crazy Beatles fan. And I wanted to meet them, and I thought, what better excuse can I find than being commissioned by All India Radio to do an interview with them? And when I asked my bosses, they laughed at me. They said, the whole Delhi press corps is trying to get it. I said, what do you have to lose? Give me a tape recorder, let's see. So they gave me a tape recorder. And then how I wangled my way in to become the only reporter in Delhi to get an interview with the Beatles, that's in the book. But basically,
Ah,
I had to be very clever, very
yeah, you
smart,
used a
and very
word
quick
called
on my
sarkar
feet.
in English. सरकार ने आपका इंटरव्यू फिक्स किया है 10 बजेगा.
That helped. That helped because they'd gotten into some trouble in Philippines with Sarkar there just before they came here. So I sensed the vulnerability of their manager, Brian Epstein, and I kept saying, "It's a government program, sir. The government has scheduled it. I don't want there to be a misunderstanding with the government, sir. I'm a fan of the Beatles, sir." So karte karate, I got in.
No,
It's quite a story and quite an event in my life.
no,
In
but
fact, one of the turning points of my
yeah,
life.
so what I did is I flipped from chapter 1 and I moved to chapter 6 or chapter 6, yeah, 6 or 7. And there I wanted to research, I was very intrigued. You had a Sikh father and a British mother. It is an Oxford love story, the first
Right.
perhaps the interracial love marriage in Oxford University, which was very racist at those times. And,
Yes.
your dad is not only one of the descendants of Baba Guru Nanak, but he's also the architect of the erstwhile Jammu and Kashmir's constitution because he was very close to Sheikh Abdullah.
That's correct.
Wow.
That's correct.
And your mom was the one who actually tended to those people in Kashmir who were ravaged by the Kabalis soon after partition
Right.
happened. Tell
That's
us,
right.
it was gripping for me to read all that.
Well, they were part of the whole movement against the feudal autocracy of Maharaja Hari Singh, and Sheikh Abdullah had some very leftist ideas. My father was a leftist, and they wanted to create a whole new society. So after they managed to get rid of Maharaja Hari Singh, my father remained a close advisor to Sheikh Abdullah, and they created a whole new constitution for the state. It was the first state actually that gave land to the landless, among other things. But my father did move away from Sheikh Abdullah because Sheikh Saab started thinking of talking about independence, etc. And my father couldn't be part of something that divided India again. We'd all suffered. We lost our homes in Lahore in the partition. But really, the story of my parents is Kashmir is one aspect of it. It's the story of how a British girl becomes a Gandhian Satyagrahi and goes on to become
I was about to come to that. That she was handpicked by Mahatma Gandhi to lead the Satyagraha, and she did that at Dera Baba
Nanak.
Dera Baba Nanak.
Nanak,
Huh.
hometown, and there was a whole drama about her arrest, which I've chronicled in the book. It's high drama, and her contributions to the freedom movement were incredible. Not so much in terms of mega achievements, but these are two young people that graduated from Oxford. They could have got the best civil service jobs in India, but they chose to sacrifice it all and lead a life of extreme sacrifice, very little money, fighting for causes that they believed in. They were idealists. And my father goes on from communism in his later life, graduates to becoming a
spiritual leader,
a philosopher in Italy. My mother moves on to becoming a Buddhist nun, the highest ranked in the world. So it's an incredible story. And yet, despite being divided almost by religions, almost by continents, they remained soulmates to the end of their lives. It is one of the most touching stories I know. And it happens to be that they were my parents, so I've written about them. And it's quite extraordinary, the people they were, and I was so fortunate and blessed to have them as my parents.
But you also say somewhere that Hollywood destroyed you, but India and Italy rescued you.
I did say that. Because Hollywood gave me a lot of glory also. I got the Bond film, which gave me a worldwide fan base. I was in The Bold and Beautiful for a year, which gave me immense number of fans across the world. And there are many stories of Hollywood, Bollywood, across my book. But the fact of the matter is, in those days, the hardest part was that they weren't writing roles for Asians. There was a kind of, they just blanked them. And when they did write a role for an Asian character, they had no hesitation in painting a white actor brown for the role. And this was a huge problem, because it's not the successful films that you do that make a career. It's the gaps in between that can kill you. And they came to a point in Hollywood where really I came to the end of my rope, both as a result of lack of roles and bad investments. And so I had to resurrect myself from the ruins of that. And I did that through Italy and India, coming back from Hollywood, which gave me a chance to reconstruct my life, and in the end be given Italy's highest civilian honor, Cavaliere, which is where they knighted me, for which I'll be eternally grateful. But that's the pendulum of my life. It's like a roller coaster. It goes up, it goes down. There's huge successes, there's massive setbacks, there's personal tragedies, there's emotional traumas and dramas, relationships, all kinds of things that have made up my life, which is why I think I have a story that people would like to read.
Yeah, it makes for quite engaging reading. But we are in the midst of a pandemic at this point, and I know Parveen must be lurking around somewhere. I'll come back to the better half in just a bit. But I want to ask you, have you got yourself vaccinated? Are you staying safe?
I'm trying to stay as safe as possible, but I've had myself vaccinated, and I think everyone should. I think everyone needs to really think about what it takes to prevent this. And you know, I have a theory. I have a theory that a lot of people wear masks, but when they come home, they don't take the trouble to wash their hands. And they take off their masks. And this in itself is a highly dangerous thing, because you don't get COVID by touching something, but you do get COVID if you touch something that has the COVID on it, and you put it near your mouth.
Yeah.
So washing hands is as important as putting on a mask. And many people I know, many well-educated people I know, I've seen them come home, hang up their mask, go there, have a cup of tea,
Yeah.
and if they have something on their hands, they're going to go down.
Well,
So I urge everyone to please make sure you wash your hands regularly, even more so than wearing masks, because wearing masks protects you to some extent, but the real protection is not getting the COVID in your mouth, nose, or eyes.
Well, Kabir Bedi, it's been fantastic talking to you. Big shout out to Parveen Dosanjh also, and she's been your companion law for the longest time, 15 years, and you want to change her name? We're going to take that conversation for another day. Thank you very much. All the best to your book. Thank you very much. Wonderful speaking with you. Thank you.